Welcome back. It's Tuesday, February 28th in the NBA. My 6 favorite picks are on the way. Let's recap yesterday. We have a special guest today, the Brooms. A 3-0 sweep. Our best bet of the day, Brandon Ingram, barely goes over. I know a lot of people had him at 25.5. They lost on the hook. Let's just move past that. Jimmy Butler easily hits us over. Well, actually not easily. Hits a crazy layup at the end. Jason Tatum did easily hit us over again, though. We're on a 5-0 run. 11-2 post the All-Star break. Let's end February with a great night. Let's continue this hot streak we are on. If you are new, my name's Austin. Welcome to the Call on Our Shot channel. If you want to do me a favor, go down below, hit that subscribe button, drop a like too. We're almost at 155,000 subscribers. If we pass that, let's hit 156,000 today. And like I talked about yesterday, we have a great opportunity by our friends at Underdog Fantasy. They've given all users that sign up using our code COS2, you get a free square that's live tomorrow. You have from now until Wednesday at 10 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow morning to sign up, and you'll get that free square for Jason Tatum to score 1 point tomorrow. That will be live around 11 or about 12 p.m. noon time Eastern. And if you don't want that, unfortunately, you don't get a deposit match with that. But if you use our normal code COS, you won't get the free square, but you get a 100% deposit match. So decide whichever one you want. I'll have an Underdog entry at the end of this video, just like yesterday's. Now, let's dive into our favorite plays. We're going to start with the best bet segment, which is 3-0 since its return. And we're going to this guy, Mr. Jordan Poole, over 28.5 points plus assists, minus 108 on Caesars. Now, individually, I'd play this at 30.5. I'd play it up there. If you want to take his points line, I won't call you crazy. I'd take points at 23.5 or 24.5. Personally, I'm going to points plus assists because I think there's a chance that Poole can get at least 5 assists, potentially 6, 7, 8 maybe, and that gives me a better chance at cashing than just taking his individual points line. But at the end of the day, we're going to need points from Poole, and I think he does plenty of that tonight. Now, since the All-Star break, Poole, he's stinking it up. The Poole's got a lot of algae in there. You need some chlorine, and he's been under in 3 straight games with 20, 23, and 19 points plus assists. Now, obviously, Draymond Green has missed the last 2 games, so Draymond, we know he's a guy that can give Poole a bunch of better shots, and obviously you look at Green, not a guy that's going to shoot a lot, so not a high volume guy, just a guy that makes his teammates better. Green expect to be back today, and he's coming into a great matchup against the Blazers. Over the last 15 games, the Blazers, no one, in fact, no team has a worse defensive rating than them. They traded away Josh Hart, Justice Winslow's out. Well, Matisse Thybulle's in here. I expect him to probably guard Klay Thompson, and Matisse isn't, the world beater. He's not going to lock down one guy, and this team has really just not played well defensively, but they could score on offense. Dame Lillard just dropped 71, and Poole got back to his normal usage the last game. He played 35 minutes, shot 20 times. Sure, he went 5 for 20, but like if Poole goes out there and shoots 20 times, probably going to have a 90-ish, 85, 90% chance of hitting this bet, and I think he's going to have a good chance. Now, like I said, Draymond Green expected back here, and that's going to help Poole not only give him some assist chances, but just put him in better opportunities to score. He doesn't have to create everything on his own, and we've seen Poole. Last time he played Portland, he was the best bet of the day. What did he do there? He had, 38 points and 7 assists. The game before that, 41 points and 6 assists versus Portland. He's dominated this team. They haven't found a way to stop him, and Poole's been great without Stephen Curry, who's again out today. Andrew Wiggins, again out due to personal reasons, and in 23 games without Curry, Poole averaged 26 points per game and 5 assists per game. That's 31 points plus assist. He's been doing pretty well on the assist side. I think he's averaged 11 the last 3 games. Granted, Green has been out, so those numbers will probably come down, but he's over this line in 14 of 23 games in which we saw Stephen Curry out. And at the end of the day, Dante DiVincenzo probably guards Damian Lillard. I think Poole bounces back here. We're going to have a Poole party tonight. He's our best bet of the day, 1.5 units. Now, I ask you guys a question, though. What's better than one best bet? How about 2? Our second one, Mikal Bridges over 24.5 points plus rebounds, minus 110 on points bet. I'd play this up to 25.5, maybe go a little bit if you want to go to 26.5. Now, obviously the lines are sharp, so the higher you go, the worse chance of hit, or worse chance of probably not hitting. But let's talk about this one, and I don't love doing these combo stats like points plus assists or points plus rebounds, but I see value here from Mikal Bridges, the guy that his points line is 19.5, probably going to go up to 20.5. So if this line goes up to 25.5 and you have a 19.5 points line, take the 19.5 points. But if the difference is only 5, I'd probably prefer the points plus rebounds. I don't hate his PRA line, just don't see him getting more than 3, maybe 4 assists at most today. So I think points plus rebounds is the way to go, or just points alone. Now let's talk about Bridges. The last time he played, we took the same identical over. He cashed in the third quarter. So let's do it again. We're putting another 1.5 units on him. Now let's talk about Bridges, obviously in a new scenery. 5 games with Brooklyn. He's had 12, 19, 29, 29, and 53 points plus rebounds. So hitting 3 of those 5 games. 2 games he played less than 30 minutes. They got smoked in. And then 2 games at home, where they're at home again in Brooklyn, he's at 29 and 53. So he showed up in front of the home crowd, shooting the ball a lot. And I want to do some line reading on spreads. Like I talked about yesterday, I did not expect the Sixers to not only cover, but win. And what happened? The Heat won outright. Like I said yesterday, I expected the Knicks to keep it close. They ended up actually blowing out the Celtics at the end of the game. Tatum got blown out. So I just don't see them tossing out free money on a lot of these spreads. And I look at one of the most common ones. You see the Bucks as only 5.5-point favorites against the Nets. This is a Bucks team that has won 14 straight games. Giannis is expected back. Bobby Portis is back. Chris Middleton getting healthy. On paper, this is a complete mismatch. This is a Nets team that's still finding their way out on offense, still finding their way out on defense, finding how to play with each other, yet they're only 5.5-point underdogs. So you look at 82% of the bets on Nets, on the Bucks, on the spread. You look at 90% are going to be on the money line. What would be a perfect scenario for the Bucks to just clean house is for a Bucks to lose outright. Obviously, I'm not saying the Bucks lose and snap their 14-game winning streak, but I do think that the Nets keep this game close. Just like I said last time, they keep the game close against the Hawks, and they did. They only lost by 2 points, and they aren't keeping it close unless Bridges is playing pretty well. Now, you saw last game, he obviously hit in the third quarter. Bridges only saw 1 field goal attempt in the fourth. I think he had 2 free throw attempts there. But you saw in that game, Dinwiddie got hot in the fourth. He scored 20 points, I think almost 11 or 12 of them in the fourth. Cam Thomas, 22 off the bench. Cam Johnson, 27. So at the end of the day, I don't think they're getting 69 points of production from Dinwiddie, Cam, and both Cams. I just don't see that happening. Bridges didn't have to do a whole lot on offense. Even Dorian Finney-Smith scored 12. So I think you're going to see Mikal have to step up here. He's already torched a very good Heat defense at home, the very good Bucks defense. And something I did notice, the Nets dropped to a 7-man rotation. Technically, they played 9 men, but Seth Curry and Joe Harris both played 6 and 7 minutes. So that's barely playing any playing time. I think Mikal, who's second on the team in rebound chances at 10 per game, with Dorian Finney-Smith probably guarding Giannis Antetokounmpo, and maybe Claxton kind of switching his way onto Giannis, or going out to guard Brook Lopez on the perimeter. I think you're going to see maybe Mikal gets a couple extra rebound opportunities. Maybe he gets 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rebounds. It wouldn't be crazy. I think Mikal has a big night. I think he could hit this over in just points alone. But we'll take his over 24.5 points plus rebounds. Our second best bet of the day. Let's go 1.5 units. Our best bets are obviously the 2 plays I really like the most. So those are my 2, Jordan Poole and Mikal Bridges. Like them both a ton. Now let's move on to our 4 final plays. And look, we're going to get on out of here. This is going to be a longer video than normal, but I appreciate you guys tuning in. If you're this far into the video, drop a like. Now next play is a Toronto Raptor, and I'm putting line in the sand. Draw the line. If this play does not hit the Raptors, I will not be taking a single prop or play on any of their games for 1 week. They have a 1-week ban, but today we're cashing with Mr. Scottie Barnes over 14.5 points. Currently minus 125 on bet 365. Now, someone yelled at me for saying 365, so 365. I got you. But let's talk about Scottie. This line's going to go up to 15.5. You can take that there. If you want to take FanDuel or DraftKings, you can do 15 plus points, maybe same game parlay it with the juice reducer. You can do that there too, because this line was moving right as I was about to post it for the All-Stars, and I had to juice up the line that was available at the time of posting. Now, everyone is going to be on Pascal Siakam today. And why is that? Well, Pascal, he's at his over in 7 straight games. And while I would maybe fall in that Siakam trap, no. Siakam has burned me too many times. That's 9 fouls on number 43, Pascal Siakam. He just fouls out every time I take his picks. And while I'm not saying go out there and take Siakam's under, I'm not saying that. I think Scottie Barnes is a big night today because I don't think a lot of people will be on his props. Now, the Raptors return home to face the Bulls, and the Bulls defense has been locked down. They've held 82 points and 81 points their last 2 games. Pat Bev obviously changed the culture there. Caruso's been harassing, though both harassed Van Vliet and Gary Trent Jr., their defense has been really good. However, I don't know how this matchup works because they're going to start Pat Bev and Caruso probably. DeRozan, Levine, and Vucevic are out there, so I don't know who guards a guy like Scottie Barnes. And Scottie Barnes, when he has a smaller guy on him, he normally takes advantage of that, gets in the post, drives, gets to the rim, and lays it in. Now, you look at Scottie, he's had 2 bad games. No way around it. 12 points and 12 points the last 2 games. He shot 5 for 17 and 5 for 13 in those games. This is a guy that's a 47 career shooter, 47% for the field, so shooting 29 and 30%, well below his averages. But Scottie, he likes to return home, and he's getting some home cooking, gets to sleep in his own bed. I think he plays well today because at home, he's averaged 16.6 points per game, shooting 48.5% from the field. You look at on the road, he's averaging just 14.5 points per game and 42% from the field. So he's back at home in a matchup that I like him a lot against this Bulls team because even if Patrick Williams comes off the bench or plays more and starts, he's going to guard Pascal Siakam. So I think you might see Scottie Barnes potentially on a guy. Maybe you throw DeRozan or maybe Levine on him. I think he has a mismatch, whoever guards him. And you look at Barnes' last 3 home games at 20, 17, and 18 points. His last 2 home games for Chicago, 21 and 19 points. And also an interesting stat I looked at, Scottie Barnes, normally a good guy for bounce back potential this season. Scottie has only had 1 streak where he went under 14.5 points in 3 straight games. That was about a couple months ago. In fact, I don't think he makes that 2 streaks today because he's under in 2 straight. And if you just blindly, you saw Scottie Barnes have a bad game, you just blindly took us over the next game, you'd be 16-9, which is a 64% hit rate. I'm not saying make that your betting system. I think Scottie has a big night. We'll take us over 14.5 points. You can take it at 15.5. We have 3 more plays. This is a long video. Let's go dive into this guy. We tried to play his props on Sunday. He didn't play. Should play today. Rudy Gobert over 24.5 points plus rebounds. If you need an individual line, I prefer rebounds here for Mr. Gobert. He could drop 20 rebounds in this game. Now, you take this up to 26.5 because I think with Gobert, he either crushes the line or he doesn't get it. And that's what hopefully he crushes it. And if you want to take his PRA line, you can go with that too. Because sometimes if they move up the PR line, don't move the PRA line. They're stupid. Let's talk about Gobert though. Last 3 games, he's played well. Obviously, he didn't play the last game, but in his last 3 games, he actually played 35, 36, and 27 points plus rebounds, hitting in all 3. He's had 9, 9, and 15 field goal attempts in those games, playing 30 or more minutes in all 3. He's averaged 23.3 rebound chances in those 3 games, so that's really good for him. And Mike Conley's obviously back. He has a great connection with him, and we've seen him shoot a lot more. Now, the Timberwolves and Clippers played a couple weeks, months ago, January 6th to be exact, 25 points, 21 rebounds. Yeah, that'll do the trick today if you want to do that, Gobert. But in Gobert's last 7 versus the Clippers, he's had 43, 23, 37, 35, 25, 24, and 46 points plus rebounds, going over in 5 of 7. So the 2 games he missed, he had 23 and 24. So he's right there. And you look at Ivica Zubac, he is questionable. I honestly hope he plays. Mason Plumlee, he's going to hold it down. He'll play, but we've seen Plumlee. Why were we targeting centers against the Hornets? Because Plumlee doesn't play any defense. I mean, Gobert's last 3 games against Plumlee, 44, 30, and 34 field goal attempts. Or not field goal attempts, points plus rebounds. He didn't even attempt above 10 field goal attempts in any of those games. So you're going to see Ant-Man. You're going to see other guys probably get guarded by the guards and forwards, be guarded by Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. So that's a tough matchup. I think the weakness is inside in the interior, in the paint. And that's all where Gobert scores, so I think he has a big night. I think he at least gets a double-double, but I think he can easily get to over 24.5 points plus rebounds. I'll ride with Gobert. Hopefully he plays tonight. He is probable. Now my final 2 plays are going to be a double-double and a triple-double, and we'll talk about an Underdog fantasy entry, and it's his Tyrese Haliburton to record a double-double, currently plus 130 on DraftKings. Now, I'd probably play this down to about plus 100, maybe minus 105, honestly, but if you want to take a pivot and you don't have a double-double prop, take his over 9.5 assists. If you don't know what a double-double is, well, Haliburton's going to need 10 points and 10 assists tonight. If he gets 10 revs, I'll record tomorrow's video without a shirt on or something like that because he hasn't 10. And you know what, whatever. If that happens, he'll get 10 reps, maybe shirtless content tomorrow. But let's talk about Mr. Haliburton because since the All-Star break, played pretty well. 15 points, 14 assists, 22 points, and 14 assists. So easily a double-double in each game. Averaged 25 assist chances in those games. And the biggest thing I like to see, his minutes are up. He's played 39 and 33 minutes, playing a lot of minutes, and I think this game is close against the Mavericks. Now, like I said, to record a double-double, Haliburton's going to need 10 points and 10 assists. Let's talk about 10 points first. He's done that in 47 of 50 games. If he doesn't get 10 points, I don't think the Pacers have a great shot at keeping this game close. And if he gets 10 points, it doesn't get 10 points, he gets 10 assists, then whatever. I'll take the L. But for plus 130 value, I got to take a stab at it. And as for the assists, he's averaging 10.2 on the year, had 10 plus assists in 30 of 50 games. And this Mavericks defense has stunk since Kyrie Irving got traded there. Now, you look at Haliburton, hasn't necessarily played Dallas in a while, since December 2021. He did have a double in both of those 2 games back in 2 Decembers ago. But the Mavericks, like I said, the last 7 games since Kyrie here arrived, 3rd highest field goal percentage allowed, most points per game allowed, 10th worst defensive rating. Yeah, this team hasn't been great defensively. The over-under is 236 in this game. That is very high for a Mavericks team that normally plays pretty slow with Mr. Luka Doncic kind of running the helm, running the point. So the fact that this over-under is 236, maybe people lean towards the under because it's a Mavericks game, but I think the Pacers push the pace. The fact they're giving up the most points per game in the paint. Miles Turner probably has a decent night, but the guy's cutting to the rim. Haliburton can find him. I like Haliburton to record a double-double plus 130. We'll put a unit on it to win 1.3. Let's move to my final play of the day, and we'll talk about an Underdog fantasy entry. Nikola Jokic to record a triple-double plus 133 on Caesars. I took this because this was great value. I imagine a lot of other books I saw, like FanDuel, like minus 105. Personally, I would never take a triple-double prop that is, unless it's, I mean, I guess Jokic, you can make a case for to take one in minus territory, but to record a triple-double, just like a double-double, but we're going to need Jokic to record 10 points, 10 rebounds, and 10 assists or more. And if he gets 10 steals or blocks, I don't know what we will do tomorrow. But let's talk about Jokic, though. Let's dive into a little bit of line reading, though, because Jokic's lines, you look at him, 23.5 points, 12.5 rebounds, and 10.5 assists. So there's a world. Jokic goes under in all 3 categories, and he still gets triple-double. The fact that they put up all these lines and still get it plus 130 on a 33 on a triple-double on Caesars, sure, we'll sign up. Now let's talk about the Nuggets, though, 10-point favorites. Very similar to a team like the Bucks that I talked about earlier. 91% of the bets are on Nuggets spread, 97% on the Nuggets money line. A great recipe for success for the books. is if the Nuggets lose outright. Well, I'm not saying the Nuggets lose this game. I think the Rockets can keep it close. You look at the track record between these two teams, it makes complete sense to hammer the Nuggets. They beat them by 10 plus points in a lot of their most recent games, including both earlier this year. Everyone's going to hammer Nuggets money line. They're going to throw Nuggets spread, alt spread, and all their parlays. And while I'm not saying to bet the Rockets, because I wouldn't really want my own money tied on the Rockets, even if this game is a blowout, we've seen Jokic get a triple-double by halftime. Now, obviously, Jokic, let's talk about him against the Rockets. He hasn't had a triple-double in either of their 2 games so far this year. He had 17, 9, and 12, so missed it by 1 rebound, and 32, 12, and 8, so missed it by 2 assists. So he was really close, but Jokic has obviously been really dialed in recently. A triple-double in 3 of his last 4, and in 16 of his last 23 games. So he's been pretty good. Aaron Gordon likely back for this game. While that might take away some rebound chances, I do think with Sengun out there, I don't really think, you're going to see Jokic have to go stretch himself out far to the paint. And at the end of the day, Jamal Murray's questionable. There is a world today that I would not be surprised if Jamal Murray does not play, and that helps Jokic's assist chances. Maybe not necessarily great conversion percentage, but Jamal Murray obviously is a guy that does have the ball in his hands a lot. The ball will be out of his hands into Jokic's a little bit more. And you look at the Nuggets, they're off until Friday. Wouldn't be surprised if we see them rest Jamal Murray in a game they should easily win. But Jokic, I think we see more of a 15-15-15 type game out of him, because just look at this Rockets team. Why did his points line lower from 25.5 to 23.5 after dropping 40 points? I mean, the last 10 games, the Rockets, low-key, been decent defensively. Not good. Not good at any stretch of the imagination, but they have given up the 8th fewest points per game in the paint. Now, they gave up 71 to Damian Lillard, so that's not great. So they give up a lot of 3-point opportunities and a lot of open guys on the threes. They're just kind of converging on the paint, which is good for us. If Jokic is getting doubled, we're going to see him pass to open guys, and they should be able to knock down some shots. And if Jokic goes under in points, wouldn't be the terrible scenario, because of the last 25 games, Jokic has gone under in 11 of those games, and he's had a triple-double in 7 of those 11 games. So we're getting this at plus 133. I'll take a stab at it. Another 1 unit on it to win 1.33. You could agree, a great payout. Love Jokic to get a triple-double. You can take the triple-double and the Nuggets to win if you want, but I don't want to count on the Nuggets to win here, even though they probably will. I think this game is close. I think the Nuggets struggle maybe a little bit with the Rockets, but I think we'll see Jokic get that trip dub that we deserve. Now, of course, it's an Underdog fantasy entry, and then we'll get on out of here. 3 legs. It's the first 3 I talked about. Scottie Barnes higher than 14.5 points. Mikal Bridges higher than 19.5 points. Jordan Poole higher than 23.5 points. I'll put $25 on it to pay out $150. Underdog's one of the cool apps where there was a lot of daily fantasy apps we were partnered with, but they're the only ones that offer a 6x payout on a 3-leg entry, which is why you see me do a lot of 3-pick entries on their site, because they give you the best payout. And like I said, if you sign up for Underdog, you use code COS2 until tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern time. You get a free square on Wednesday that we'll talk about tomorrow, and we'll use in tomorrow's video or tomorrow on Twitter or social media. And then if you just want to get the 100% deposit match, be sure to use code COS so that you get that, and then you can do whatever you want with that money. I appreciate you guys as always. A long video, 17 minutes, probably the longest video of the year. 6 picks. Let's go 6-0. If we go 6-0, we're going to do crazy things with this broom tomorrow. Appreciate you guys as always for tuning in. Have a great Tuesday. See you guys back in March, my birthday month. See you guys then. Peace out.